Hi guys, Ben Raven here for CardRunners. As I said in my introductory video, I was going to look for other poker players who I'm friends with to do their hand history reviews as well. So I recently went to Germany to meet a couple of regs, and one of them was JVL Star 69. I looked through a lot of his hands while I was there, like we did some reviews and stuff, and he has a lot of interesting hands, and he plays quite a different style to me really. He plays a lot more aggressive than me overall, whereas I play a bit more passive. He does play up to 10-20, mixing 4 in and 6 max, but most of the hands today are from mid-stakes. I think I've got one 10-20 hand in there as well. So let's get straight on to the first hand. So moving on to JVL's hands now, and in this hand we're getting open from Golovarez, who's a reg I play with quite a lot. He's very good, very aggressive, fights for pots a lot, takes weird lines with value and bluffs. Just generally one of the best players at 4-ring at the moment. Sweet flat is open. There is an argument to 3-betting pre, but being this deep, as you can see, we're about 200 big blinds deep, just a bit less. And against a very competent opponent, I think flatting is good, is a really good option. I think if we 3-bet, we get him to fold like a lot of the hands that we are going to be beating. He's going to 4-bet, and then we're going to be in a spot where we're just going to be able to call a 4-bet. And he'll be like bluffing us. Even if we 5-bet, it's just not ideal really. I think if we're in later positions, then obviously it'd be 3-bet, but in these positions, calling is, I think, our superior option. So on the flop, we see King 8-5 with a flush draw, and Golovarez goes ahead and check. So I would say that playing a lot with Golovarez, he has a very, very good check calling flop range. So when he checks to us, he's not one of those guys that we can just stab like 80% of the time and just take it down. He's very, very aware of ranges, very aware of his own range and what hands he should be check calling, check folding, check raising, c-betting. So I would say that if we didn't have a hand like Ace King, if we had like Ace Queen, I pretty much wouldn't ever be wanting to stab here. I might want to stab the turn if he checked again, but generally speaking, I wouldn't want to start bluffing him at this point. But of course, we do have topped up. So we bet, and he check calls. So when he check calls the flop, I think his range consists of a great deal of hands. I mean, he certainly has aces. He certainly has King X. Obviously, we do have a King X and we block aces. He has 9s through jacks. He can have pocket 5s and pocket 8s. I mean, those hands are probably favourite to check raise the flop as opposed to check calling. But I certainly wouldn't put it past him for check calling those hands on the flop. He also has a fair amount of draws, such as nut flush draws, and straight draws, and combo straight and flush draws, and even straight flush draws. But again, we do kind of expect him to be raising a decent amount of those big draws or c-betting them. So the turn is a 5 of diamonds, and bring a second flush draw, and we get, interestingly, we get a third pot lead on the turn. So now his range looks to me like aces. Aces is probably one of the hands I really feel like is in his range at the moment. King X, and a fair amount of other draws, such as I said, nut flush draws and straights and flush draws. I think in Julian's shoes, well, in Golovarez's shoes, he's making this bet with potentially a hand like King X, and the sizing to me looks quite inducing, quite like almost an attempt to make someone bluff. I see good players make these kind of turn leads against other regs, sometimes weaker regs as well, although I certainly wouldn't say JVL is a weaker reg. But it serves a purpose of A, blocking bets if you've got marginal hands, and also B, people spazzing out and raising these kind of bets. I feel like making a bet like this looks like it's trying to make someone spaz out, and for that reason I feel like raising the turn is actually a good idea, and that is what Julian does. He goes 96, which for me I think is good sizing. If we were bluffing, we probably would be going something like this sizing, to maximise forward equity, etc.